Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, September 23rd. I have a birthday cake for my son in the oven, so I might need to pause this at some point and go take that out, but I needed to just get started. A lot to do today, and hopefully this goes smoothly. So I'm here for a stitching update, but first I wanted to share my kids' pieces because I realized last week I hadn't shared them with you, and they had some good progress last week. My son's is not that much farther than it was last week, but my daughter kept working on it and now she's done. So this is what her little plastic canvas piece looked like last time you saw it. It's The Home is Where the Cat Is, which is one of my little patterns that I have on my Etsy shop. And here it is finished. And she is really proud of this. Using random yarn colors that we were gifted, so none of the colors match the actual pattern. But in this house, she used a variegated color for the roof and the door, and she had a different color in here that was a little darker than this blue, which I thought looked really cute, but then she lost the yarn, we couldn't find it, and ripped it all out and restarted and did a little bit more than she had previously done in this new color, and then we found the other one. It was in her room somewhere, rather than in the yarn bag. So she ended up with this color of blue anyways, but it worked out fine. And she really enjoyed doing the back stitching on this yarn. The threads, these that were over two over and one up were tricky for her to figure out, but so I helped her with those, but she loved doing all the other ones. And here comes Katie. So that's my daughter's finish, and I forgot to bring it in here now that Kat's here. I really can't go get it. But she has another one, a kit that I bought for her a year or two ago, because I knew she would like it eventually. That's got 11 count canvas, 11 count fabric, and it's a little kitty with a ball of purple yarn, and so that's totally up her alley because her favorite color is purple. Her favorite thing is kitties. So she's chomping at the bit to start that kit, and she was hoping to start it yesterday, but it was just too busy for me yesterday to help her with it. So probably if she has her way, she will hopefully start that this week, and then I can show you something next time. So sorry, kitty's causing some earthquakes here. And then I have my son's piece, which is a diamond painting, not a cross stitch, and this is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. Excuse me, kitty. He finished the whole bottom half, so that's pretty cool. There that is. You can see the bottom of the whole dragon body is finished, and the bottom of his jaw and all of this fire, so he's super happy with that. And he had this done last week, and I forgot to show it. He has just a tiny bit of this red color started over here, but so far that's that, and he's really happy with that. Every once in a while he's kind of lost, not lost but steam, but slowed down a little bit on his eagerness. He was really into it while he was closing in on a half finish there, which you all understand. When you get near to a finish, you get really excited. So he finished the half and then started a little bit on the top corner, but hasn't really done much in the last little bit. So now on to my stitching. This past week I only worked on one project, and that was my Quick Stitch Iris by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is by Josephine Wall, just the bottom little corner of one of her big ginormous pieces. So her pieces have a lot of confetti normally, but this particular one, since it's so small, such a small section of one of hers, I think it might, I don't know if it's bigger, but it's not particularly confetti heavy. There are little patches of confetti, which I came across on Saturday or Sunday here, but a lot of times you can get a good chunk going and it's not too bad. So I was working on this for a whole week, a full 7 days, in hopes of getting to 1,200 stitches for the Full Coverage Fanatics 1,200 stitch per month challenge that they have in their Facebook group. And I figured it was likely that I could do it. I guess that's, 200 stitches a day, maybe a little less. And I didn't make it. I got to 644 stitches in 7 days. And I had decent stitching days too. On Tuesday, some friends came over, Shelly, Key X Stitch, and Candace, Slub Over Stitches. They're both here on Flosstube. They came over and we stitched in the morning, and I used this piece to work on. And I had stitching time every evening, but it has, this week made it very clear to me that those kinds of stitching challenges are just not for me, and I kind of already knew that, but this solidified it, that even if I give it a whole week, it's not those kind of numbers are not going to happen, because I just don't have the same time that a lot of other people have. And I'm not a slow stitcher, but I just don't have a lot of time. So because of that, it's actually kind of freeing to not be chained of sorts to those kind of goals. So I had considered if I could do 1,200 stitches in a week or a week and a half, then maybe next year I could try for 1,600 and get to the 20,000 stitches in 2020 challenge that Full Coverage Fanatics has next year. That's not going to happen, because I don't, even after nearing the end of this week, it was already starting to feel like I wanted to switch projects. I think I just like switching more often than that. And so I'll still work on this piece. It's for my aunt. I'll still give it I'm thinking maybe 4 days every month, and give it a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because those are my 4 best stitching days, generally speaking. And so I think I'll give it that 4-day chunk at some point during the month, every month, in an effort to make good progress on it for my aunt. And it may take an extra year than what my original lofty goal had been, but that's okay. She doesn't even know it's coming. So I think it'll still be fun. I want to make sure I leave room in my stitching life for variety and for working on everything else, because I have a whole bunch of other projects, and I could probably do the 1,200 or 1,600 stitches every month if I gave this project half of a month. But I don't want to give an entire half of a year to one project when I have 48 other projects that are kind of in my craft room saying, work on me, work on me. So I'm kind of feeling more like jumping around a little bit more. I'm also considering joining another Facebook group that has challenges, because Full Coverage Fanatics has some challenges, but there's just for full coverage pieces. So I think it would be nice to join another group that would have challenges that could apply to all of my projects. And so I'm looking into what might be a good fit for me. And so if I find what I like, I'll let you know, but I haven't actually done the research yet. So I'm looking forward to having freedom in my schedule, and I don't want to be chained to one piece that much. So I'll give it 4 days a month, and I think that will be plenty for me. In the meantime, I will show you how far I got on this month. This is what it looked like last time. And here it is now. So overall, I am very happy with what I got done. I finished this little bit of the column that I had been working on, and then started up here and got like halfway done with this column. Got started on this petal of this flower, did pretty much all of this purple flower and the leaf that's right here, which right here was the worst of the confetti. Tons and tons of different colors. And then now I'm kind of just starting this blue flower down here. Thanks for your help, kitty. She keeps getting in the way. But so I am happy with that. And I love to see this progressing, but I don't want this to be the only thing I work on. And I think if I were to give myself those lofty goals of how many stitches I need to do because of the stitching time I have, I wouldn't be working on very many other things besides this. So this will get worked on probably about 4 days a month from here on out. And so we'll see how that goes, and I'll be more creative with the rest of my time. Hi, kitty. So that's what I worked on this month. I am happy with the progress, but I am also excited to move on and work on something else. So I will now show you my other stitching this month, and then I'll go on to plans. So I worked on my temperature pieces. I'm still struggling to get caught up on these, but I do have progress. So here is the temperature quilt, and this is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. It's a little washed out. There we go. So this, I got August all the way done, which was very exciting. And then I was working a lot more on the sashing. I did that color. I may have already had those, but I did some sashing so to get ready. I think I need to do one more string of sashing, and then I'll work on filling in more of the September, because we're already down here, I think, in September. So so kind of behind on that, but it is coming along, and I'm pretty happy with how it's coming. So again, I'm happy with my travel piece right now, and I'll share that in a minute, but when that's done, I think I will bring these into the car and get them caught up before I switch to a different travel piece. Because I think once they're caught up, it's not that hard to stay caught up. I just let myself get really far behind during the summer. So let's put that back. And my other one in here is my temperature balloons, which is less behind, but still not caught up. So here's the mock-up of that one. And this is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. So stop, don't bite me. I did several more of these colors along this row, and I have this started here. I believe it's the same color as this block. So I just did the, when I have colors next to each other, let's see. Like right here, there's two yellows right next to each other. I will do the whole block and then come back and do another block, because like with full coverage, sometimes if you're going straight down an edge, you'll see a page break, like in the tension. You'll see a little break along the page break. I'm hoping that will happen with this, so that I'm doing the whole block, and then I'm going back and doing another block, because if there is a break in the tension along the edge of the block, maybe that will help a little bit to define the different blocks. So I'm okay with that in this case. So I am doing block by block, even if neighbors are touching. So that's how that's how far I am right there on that one. And my travel piece has actually gone really well. I had a little bit more travel stitching this week than I sometimes do, because we went on a little road trip on Saturday to visit my parents. And and then going to church, I got to stitch on it again in the car, which sometimes doesn't happen if we have to drive separately. So it was a good travel stitching day. And so I have a lot to show you. So this is the rough picture I found online of the Tea and Cakes Mystery Sal, which was a year or two ago. It's by 2017, so 2 years ago. It's a free pattern that you can still find in the files section of the Lakeside Needlecraft Facebook group. I wasn't sure last week if I would want to continue this or not, because I wasn't sure how long it would take me in an actual school pickup line setting, because when I started working on this as a travel piece, it was more, it was in the summer, so I didn't know how long each block would take me. But I'm pleased to say it went really fast, and I think I'll just bust it out, because it shouldn't take me that much longer, a month maybe at the most, and then I can move on to getting my temperature pieces cut up if they're not yet already, and then I'll move on to possibly Ink Circles Tapestry. I'm really thinking that will make a nice travel piece. So this is what that looked like last time, and here it is now. So as you can see, I completely finished this middle section of the two cupcakes, and I am changing mine to have lots of fractional stitches along the edges of the colors to make the backstitching very exact rather than blocky like it's charted. So mine does look a little differently than normal, but I think it turned out really nice. And I have a really good start on this cake. The cake is almost done being stitched, and then I have the stand and the leaves of the roses, and then I can backstitch that. So that one will most likely be done next week, and I'll have the border extended down as well. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go here this way or from here this way, so we'll see how I'm feeling after I get the border done. I may, since this is still a gap in the border, I may start here and do the border over here and just until my string runs out, and then start with this block. And then when this block is done, I'll do another string of border and then do this one. So maybe that's what I'll do. So that's where this is now. And I'm really happy with that. So I will continue on with this and get this finished up and check that off my list. It's really nice for me to finish things. I have a hard time saying no. I don't want to work on that anymore. And so if I can make it work, I will. And it's actually not bugging me now once I've got into it and had some time. So now that we're in the school year, it's going quicker than it did in the summer, and I'm really happy with it. Because this summer, when it didn't take that long, I just didn't have a lot of time to work on it, and so it was hard to gauge how long everything would really be taking. Because I could only work on it once or twice a week. So that's that one. And now I can share with you what I'll be working on going forward for the next week-ish. My plans at the moment. So my son's birthday is coming up tomorrow. We're doing a family party today, which is why I'm making the cake today with cousins and grandmas and stuff. And tomorrow we'll just have cookies and his favorite dinner here at home. And our presents. But today and tomorrow and the next day, I'm going to be working on Dragon Ride by Teresa Wentzler for his birthday, because I am working on this every month near his birthday for normally 2 days, but I'll give it 3 this month because it's his actual birthday month. And then sadly, for some reason, the dragon patterns by Teresa Wentzler have been taken offline. I got this on patternsonline.com, but they don't have the dragons up there anymore. I'm not sure why. So if you want this, there are some people who have told me of some places that it might be available in old magazines and stuff. So if you comment below, maybe someone else will see that and can get you in touch with the magazine. I keep forgetting to write it down, which magazines had it, because I don't need it. But I should write that down for you guys in case anybody wants to find it. So this is where is my starting point. This is on 28 count light blue even weave by MCG Textiles that I got at Hobby Lobby, which they no longer carry this particular kind. And what's on my needle here? I'm working right here. I'm doing the dark bit on the wing. So potentially I'll just keep working in the wings, because I think that's where he wanted me to work next. So I will work more on the dragon wings, unless he directs me to work somewhere else. I'll do that probably. I'll probably talk to him today, this evening, if I get a chance, and ask him if that's where he wants me to stay working or if he wants to see something else. So we'll see. So that's where that's at right now. I'll give that 3 days for him. He's the same son who's doing the dragon diamond painting, so you sense the theme? He likes dragons. Oh, and this little needle minder I got from Belinda, Aussie Stitcher, because she knew I was going to be starting this piece, so that's fun. And let's see, next I'll be working on my letter H Fairy by Nora Corbett for my niece, whose birthday is also this month. So I'm going to give you this 2 days instead of 1. And this, it tends to always be the days I work on this. I don't have stitching time, so it's been slow going the last several months, but this time it'll be, I think it'll be Thursday and Friday, which are generally fairly good stitching days, so I'm hoping that I can make some good progress on this. Here's where my starting point on this one for this month. this is where I'm at. I've made this is the called for linen, which is water lily. Yeah, 32 count water lily linen by Witchell. So it's a little see-through and stiff, but I actually don't mind stiff fabric when I'm, it's because I stitch in hand. It kind of holds itself together pretty nicely. So, but I am doing a thread conversion for almost all of the colors. A lot of them are Victorian Motto. I have some Gentle Art, some Wix Dye Works. Yeah, so they call for all crescent colors, which are now classic color works, and I have through 2 of them, but all the rest of them I decided to just sub out with things that I had that are very similar colors. I believe her dress is now finished, so I could finish her legs and then get this her skin backstitched and, you know, different things. I could work more on the H, could work more on these vines. There's a lot of things I could do. But it's pretty much done except for her backstitching on her face. It's pretty much done at the top with all the beads and everything. So there's that starting point. And I'm smelling the cake, so it might be ready to take out here pretty soon. Speaking of these letter fairies, for those of you who may be new or have forgotten, I'm doing these for my nieces for high school graduation. So this will be a long-term project. It will be about 12 years because including my daughter, who's currently in 1st grade, when she graduates, she's the youngest. That'll be about 12 years. But my oldest niece is graduating from high school this school year, which is the beginning of June, end of May, beginning of June. I don't know what day the high schools actually graduate. It used to be beginning of June when I was in high school, but things might be different. So, the letter H is for my oldest niece, and then I think I have 7 nieces total. So over the course of the years, when I'm done with the H, I'll start the next one. Not until 2020. If I finish her before the end of this year, I'll wait until at least January 1st to start the next one, because these are big enough that I'm counting them as their own project. So, however, I didn't have all the letters. So I have a few. I have L, I have F, and I have S, which I made for me, and mine looks like this. I still haven't hung it on the wall. Mine looks like this, slightly different colors than the called for. I will be making this again for one of my nieces down the line, so I'll keep that pattern for her. And then I had 3 more that I still needed. So when Shelly was here on Tuesday, her birthday present to me was the rest of my charts, so that's really exciting. She gave me R and M and E, which I will be doing twice as well. So now we have all of them, yay! So that's really exciting. And she was destashing, Shelly was destashing on her website and gave me this, which I won on her destash. It's called My Story by Jeanette Douglas, a sampling of myself. And I just thought that was so cool. Look at all those specialty stitches. She bought this and didn't want it because of the specialty stitches, but I saw it and wanted it for the specialty stitches. And just a second, that's the cake. Okay, so Shelly had given me this from her destash giveaway, and so I think this has moved up to a definite start for 2020 because I just love all the specialty stitches in here, and I'll definitely kit it up with just some hand-dyes that I already have. I have so many in my stash that I want to use, so I'm not going to buy all the fancy floss that she suggests. She's got Thread Gatherer, Threadworks, Krynic, Needlepoint Ink Silks, and Accentuate, and I might get some metallics that are called for, because I have some metallics in stash, but maybe not the right colors. But in general, all the regular threads, I'll pick some out of my stash and just find a pretty color palette. I have already this one, the Four Seasons sampler by Jeanette Douglas, which was going to be my first Jeanette Douglas start, probably in 2020. But now I'm kind of thinking I want to switch over to this one first. And do this one and then this one. Because I have a lot of other, I love them both. Oh my goodness. But I have a lot of other seasonal things that I'm thinking of starting soonish. So this might be nice to like do this instead and have one less seasonal thing. So we'll see. I like them both, but I don't know. Eventually, coming here in the fall, I think I'm going to do a separate video for all the things I want to start, or all the things that are on the possibility list of starting. I have earned myself 4 starts so far from the things that I've finished so far this year. One of my finishes this year went towards my New Year's Eve new start already, as like I was paying that back, I guess. So of the things, the page finishes and finishes that I've done so far this year, I have earned 4 new starts so far. So that's exciting. Anyway, so thank you, Shelly, for all of those wonderful goodies. I'm very happy to have all the fairies, and that my story is going to be really fun. So it's definitely gone to a good home. So yeah, I'm excited about all the things coming up next year that might get started. I'm excited about stitching more this year in possibly more of a fun way. We'll see if I find a group that I like that has a lot of challenges, because I'm kind of thinking of starting that sort of thing now. I do like to plan. Sometimes my plans don't last very long and they get changed. So if some group has, I have one I'm thinking of looking at, I just haven't had time yet. So maybe by the end of the week I'll get a chance to look at that. But if I join a group that has weekly challenges that are small, that might be kind of fun to do planning, a small amount of planning every week. Then I don't have a chance to change my mind or get burnt out on this grand scheme. So we'll wait and see. And then going forward into 2020, I like the idea of creating some goals that I would like to get to. Like, for example, I want to get to, ideally, some progress on all of my full coverage pieces. And so that if I'm looking for items to plug into challenges, I can maybe check my goal list first and see, is there something I was hoping to finish this year? Is there something I was hoping to get X number of progress, you know, a column or a page finish on? That would be something to look at first. And if not, then I've really enjoyed seeing people work on a variety of their projects because of challenges, and that's something that I've kind of missed out on this year because of focusing on goals at the beginning of the year, which is also good, but I'm kind of feeling like I want to join in on that now. So we will see how that goes. I have an idea of a group I'm looking at, so I'll let you know what I think of that. And in the meantime, enjoy your stitching in whatever capacity that looks like. If it's, you know, all on one piece or jumping around all the time or somewhere in the middle. Have fun with it. And until next time, I will hopefully enjoy these. Oh, yeah. One more thing. This weekend, before I see you again, I will also be working on Villa Mirabilia. Almost forgot to show that because the cake distracted me. But this is my, hopefully, goal to finish this pot this year. So we'll see. If I jump into challenges, we'll see. Some of my goals may fall by the wayside, but it would be nice to finish this pot this year. So as of now, I have the last 3 days in September plus the first 3 days in October slotted for this. So if I get tired of it, I might move to something else. But I might just want to push through and get more done. So we'll kind of see how I'm feeling. But so far, this is the starting point for this lady. She's a biggin on a fat half. This is some green linen that I think is probably close to what's called for willow green. It's close to that anyways. I think it might be willow green Belfast. 32 count. It looks tan in the picture, but it is a olive green. So this is where I'm at now on Villa Mirabilia. And I want to get back to her, but in the meantime, I want to finish this pot so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And so this is the starting point on the pot. And I want to get as much progress as I can. So I will start working on that this weekend coming up and into October a little bit. So that's the plan at the moment anyways. We'll see. If I come up with a group that has themes and they just really call to me, I may amend my plans and put this away at some point. But we shall see. Because I am kind of excited to get back into like flitting around a little bit with my different whips and pulling out random, not necessarily random ones, because that's what Arbitrary August was about, but more intentional variety, you know, where I can say, oh yeah, this is a fun one that would fit this prompt, and I am interested in working on it. Because sometimes if it's completely random, it's not something that would have been calling to you. So in this case, it can be, I can choose within a theme, like one that sounds really fun right now. So I'm hoping that will be a fun change for me. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And in the meantime, I think I'm really done now. Happy stitching!